I don't know how we've managed to live in a time period, a timeline, when something like Robert the Killer Doll has 5 movies. Yes, this is the 5th Robert the Doll movie. This time it's Robert Reborn. And before we get to this one in particular, if you haven't seen these movies, the first one, it was kind of based off like the legend of that real doll Robert, that was cursed, that they talked about in The Conjuring and stuff like that, or at least it inspired some stuff in The Conjuring, I think. Uh, Andrew Jones is the director. He did Cabin 28. Uh, Not much of a fan of a lot of his work, but for some reason I can't quit these movies, even though they are pretty bad. But they start off with just like a cursed doll, and then in the second movie, a toy maker gets introduced, and it really, really goes towards the puppet master part by the third one as they're fighting Nazis, and it's basically it's puppet master. We introduce these other dolls, not puppets but dolls, and they're in there and they're kind of anti-heroes, and it's went on for 4 movies, and now we're at the 5th one. And right up front, I don't know what timeline we're in. I don't know if this is a prequel or if this is a sequel, because I was thinking it was still before the stuff that we see in the second movie. But there is the chance, since a lot of this stuff was pretty modern, there is the chance that they just quit putting the real old makeup on the toy maker, and that this is current somehow. I don't know, but nonetheless, he's not much of a hero this time, although a hero is kind of hard to be found in this one, as now they are battling Russians. So this higher up Russian officer is on his deathbed, so basically the Russians are after the book that animates the dolls, which leads them to kidnap the toy maker, and which leads to the 3 dolls that you see here, Robert being in the middle, of course, going on a plane to get him back. Yes, that is the plot. And it is a very slow plot. And whereas in my Once Upon a Time in Hollywood review, where I mentioned the dialogue from Quentin Tarantino was so interesting and so fun that you don't really care if they're just sitting there and they're talking. It doesn't really matter. In this, it does, because it's dull and it drags and there's a lot of talking. More people probably get shot in the head and killed in this movie than killed by the doll, because when the dolls are actually killing people, it's pretty quick and to the point. And on the other end of the spectrum, whenever somebody's getting like capped, there's a lot of people getting shot. So not the best thing you're going to see out there. Not the best thing you'll get at Walmart. Even though they're only $10, I don't think I'd want to pay full price for this. If I was you, I'd probably wait and see if you can get it used, if you just have to have it. Or if you wait a while, they'll probably make another DVD set with all the movies, because they just recently released one that had all 4 of the previous movies on it. I'm kind of happy to see like these things get made, just because it's kind of cool to have a horror franchise out there, even if it's not that good. And these kind of go along with the Ouija films, but at least this one is actually connected, and it's not just a bunch of stuff with random numerals through on the end of the title to make you think they're connected. This is a Phase 4 film. I believe that is the company. I believe it's Phase 4. It's so small that I actually cannot read it. Maybe it's 4 Digital Media. Didn't they used to be Phase 4? Nonetheless, if you like killer doll movies, give it a watch. But if you've seen the other Robert movies and you kind of know what to expect, it's kind of more of the same. So probably a 2, and that's a generous 2 out of 5. Don't know if I'll ever watch them again. Don't know if I would ever really want, like, you could probably hold a gun to my head and I'd still be reluctant to watch them again. But as far as this one goes, it's not the worst, but it's definitely not the best, and the best is not very good.